Hello everybody, my name is Bloom and welcome back to my third episode of How to PvP Bloom Rendition. This episode I'm going to teach you everything I know about inventory loadout, good times to eat in the middle of fighting, and how to drink your potions at the start and end of fights, and appropriate times to eat gapples and soups if you're on gapple or soup servers. Don't leave just yet though, there is a bonus tip at the end that I can guarantee will help you no matter what your playstyle is. So this is my third video on PvP and it's starting to get into some of the more advanced and nitpicky side of things. The advanced PvPers may be slowly nodding their heads now as they see how more refined details will play into effect in their fights. Now, with the knowledge of aiming and being able to move while aiming under your belt, it's now time to equip yourself with certainty that you can confidently go into a fight. First, let me define the word loadout. It simply means how you put weapons, items, food, potions, and whatnot in your inventory that, in a way, is standard or unique. Everybody in Minecraft is different. How your loadout should be varies on your playstyle and your hardware. I'll go over my loadout in a best case scenario. This will also be about how you can find your own loadout that fits your unique way. I myself have a unique mouse called the Razer Naga. I've gotten accustomed to using its buttons on the side and can easily switch to nearly any hotkey box in my hotbar. When I load out, I usually take one set of armor unless I know that I will be in a long fight or have a chance that my armor may be taken down quickly by somebody else's MCMMO. Else I will bring two sets. But let's focus on if I were to go into a 1v1. I'd bring one set, fill my 7 hotspot with speed 2s, and the 3 above it. The same goes to the 8 hotspot with strength and the 9 hotspot with regeneration. I place an extended fire resistance in my 6th hotspot and 1 above it in my inventory. I'll usually put ender pearls on my very top left corner just in case I ever need to use them. I'll go over using them later in this video. I always have my main weapon in my 1 hotspot, and if needed, a secondary weapon above my 1 hotspot. If it's a bow, I put a stack of arrows next to my pearls. I always carry food with me, and I would recommend a stack of cooked beef. My food is always in my 2 hotspot, and usually the rest of my inventory is instant health potions. Depending on how you play, you may place different items in different places. If you play using your items with your scroll wheel, I would recommend you put your drinking potions next to your food or on the other side and simply scroll up to the drink and down to eat. Now, with those who play with their scrolling wheel, the best kind of advice I can give is to use your ring finger to hit your 1 button on your keyboard above your Q key. This will snap your hand to your sword if it's in the first hotbar spot. It's what I did long before I upgraded to this mouse of mine. It's very important to keep a stern and strict watch on your health. Glance down as often as you can until you get into the habit of being able to check it without thinking. When you get low in health, you'll need to heal. The quickest way and the easiest way to heal in potion PvP is to turn away from your opponent and aim parallel with the ground. Again, while you're aimed parallel with the ground, throw your potion while you're running away from your opponent. Your potion will either land on the ground you're walking on or hit you in the back of the head, making it very efficient. Try not to splash your opponent with insta health as you want them to stay low in health. The best advice I can give when healing is to never look down and throw your instant health. If you are hit, it will heal far less hearts and get you knocked back, as you must remain in place to heal the most hearts, else you may only get healed half a heart or 1 heart. If you ever need to use pearls to catch up to an opponent or to flee in battle, quickly bring them into your hotbar. Wait until you're able to throw one and aim ahead of where your opponent will be. Don't throw the pearls high if your opponent is close, else they will have plenty of time to move away. Aim for the ground where they are about to run to, and turn to start hitting them again, or keep a consistent flight away from your opponent. Now, here comes the fun part. You now know how to load your inventory, but is it really the best for you? Try any loadout and go for a PvP fight. Keep watching where your hand is in your hotbar and go based off how you feel while PvPing another person. Like I've said, everybody is different, and you may even prefer your sword in your 5 or 9 hotspot versus the traditional 1 hotspot. The best advice I can give for potting up would be to drink your potion, and as soon as the buff comes in, throw your empty bottle and drink the next potion. Keep throwing your empty bottles until you're fully potted up, then replace those empty bottles with your healing potions or even more buff potions depending on how you play. You will eventually find the knack that suits your style, and you'll have no problem learning and memorizing your inventory loadouts, which will mean that you can be buffed all the time that you need to be. Okay, now on to gapples and soups. Stereotypically, you'd think that in gapple fights, spamming apples equals winning. That is very wrong and will probably lead to your loss. When gappling, you have your armor somewhere very accessible. You will need to have at least 2 sets to ensure a simple win. Have your potions somewhere where you can easily drink and repop back up. Try and wait until you see your opponent charging you. Eat your gapple near to the end of their run towards you. This way you will have most efficiency at keeping your regen 4 buff. Now, each gapple's regeneration buff only lasts for 30 seconds unless the server has modified it. Simply open your inventory and find out how long it lasts if you're unsure. So if it is 30 seconds, keep a mental timer in your head. And I know that this is where things get harder and harder, having to count down and keep focus on your opponent. Now if you don't or can't count, you'll need to keep a close eye on your hearts, as you always should. When you see that it is not regenerating, eat another apple and get back to fighting as soon as the buff kicks in. You don't need to open your inventory, as you'll be able to see when it kicks in by these 2 absorption hearts, given when you eat any kind of golden apple. As long as you strafe and consistently hit your opponent, eventually they will either not gapple and die or have their armor broken and die. Beware now, your armor will probably break too, so as long as you have your extra armor handy somewhere close, simply scroll to it and right click the missing part, or open your inventory and equip it the traditional way of shift clicking. When your armor breaks, pay close attention because you may die in a matter of 2 hits depending on which piece of armor breaks. When 1.5 armor points break, it means your helmet or boots have broken. Quickly equip whichever broke. Traditionally, helmets usually break first, so be ready for that. When 3 armor points break, your leggings have broken, and when it's 4, it's your chest plate. Keep fighting to get used to your armor and its durability. Alright, now on to the stereotype of souping. That would be when you're low in health, eat all of your soups, and you will be full health again. That's wrong. At the very most, you will only ever need to eat 2 soups to be back up at 8 to 10 hearts. Each server has their unique way of how many hearts soup PvP will heal. Most usually heal 3 to 4 hearts when consumed though. I myself have always loved the aspect of soup PvPing and prefer it over any other kind of PvP. Souping can be super easy or maybe a nightmare for you. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to soup. The first would be, of course, to attack, and if your health gets low, simply scroll to a soup, right click, and go back to your sword. This should set you up to get a few more hits before you need to check if you need to resoup or keep hitting. If so, simply repeat and go back to your sword. When you need to put more soups in your hotbar, open your inventory and double click on a bowl. If you don't double click, this won't work. It will drag all the bowls to your hand, and then you can click it off your inventory and shift click the rest of the soups into your hotbar. Be quick about this, or your opponent may be able to kill you while you're reloading. Also, don't wait until you're at 3 hearts to refill. Make time and do it when you eat your last soup. If you must run, regen hearts and throw your hotbar while you're running. The way I do it is much more difficult for starters to learn, but I'm not here to hold back things that may be difficult. I'm here to teach you everything I know. The way I do it is when I need a soup, I scroll to it, I eat it, and I throw it. All in the span of less than a quarter of a second. I have my throw key modified to V on my keyboard, and I simply hit my button on my mouse, right click it, hit V, and go back to 1 to my sword. And I'll never stop swinging in the process. And that is the best way I have found not only to get better, but also to have people think I hack too. I practiced that simple eat and throw move for over a month, and it has paid off very well. The server sometimes won't show my soup when I switch, so it can be that fast. Now when you reload, I have a very helpful hint that can work on anything from selling items and faction servers to bringing more instant health or soups into your hotbar. As long as your hotbar is empty except for a sword and maybe food, this will work much better than simply clicking. Open your inventory and hit shift and hold shift. While you're holding shift, left click a potion into your hotbar, then move on to the next one and right click it. Both work the same way. As long as shift is held, you will move that item into your hotbar. So if you spam left and right click and move your mouse in a line across what goes in your hotbar, you will refill very, very quickly. This will take time to learn, and it is how I refill everything even to today. Now here's that bonus tip I was telling you about. When eating in a fight or repotting, make sure to jump non-stop, so when your opponent hits you, you go flying away. This prevents them from getting combos and completely wrecking you while you're busy. With that in hand, that sums up my 3rd How to PvP video. If you found this video helpful, smack that like button and please leave a comment on how you are learning things or if this is actually helping you. If you want me to go over anything that you are having trouble with or that I haven't gone over already, leave your suggestion in the comments and you could be featured in my next video. Now, my next video will be over dealing combos on enemies, server-side versus client-side combat, how to escape from difficult or unfair fightings, and how to click steadily. If you comment something you need help with, that will probably make its way into the next video too. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep being sexy, my subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.